Hey guys, welcome back to another figure review. Next video we're going to be taking a look at a non-Star Wars action figure this time around. We'll take a look at a figure from a line of characters that we've looked at one or two in the past. I do have a little collection of them, as you've probably seen in my figure reviews, and as you've already guessed by the title, the character in question is Crash Bandicoot. This is based on his little line of action figures that he's got there. These are based off the appearance in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Now before we take proper looks at this figure, we'll take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. Now, as you can see, it's a basic card back design they've got going on there, with Crash Bandicoot in his thumbs up pose that we've largely come to establish ever since he jumped back into the limelight back in 2016 with the Insane trilogy, should I say. And then of course we had Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, as well as Crash Team Racing Night Refueled, and at the time of filming this review we have the upcoming Crash Team Rumble, which is set to come out a few days after the filming of this review. It might already be out by the time I've uploaded this review, I don't know, but yeah, that's what we've got there. So it's some good packaging that we do have there. For figures in this wave, it is almost pretty much the same with what's going on. I mean, it's the card back is basically the same. At the front there, you do have the indication of what we have. And on the back we do have other figures in this wave. So of course we've got two other variants of Crash, including his It's About Time masks, and of course Dr. Cortex and Coco Bandicoot. So it's good to get a little variation, but I think it would have been nicer if the production company for this one had given us some other characters in this wave, like instead of doing multiple Crashes, like save the the two other versions of Crash for a later wave. I think that's what they should have done. But as you can see, it is wave 1, so there is a chance we will get a wave 2 or wave 3. So I'm holding out for that Dingodile. That'll come out. That should hopefully come out. He's the character I most want to get an action figure of. I know he did have an original action figure released back in a long time ago with all the wave of characters. But good to get Dingodile, Engine, Night, Embryo. You know, characters from the classic era of Crash Bandicoot that we all know and love. But I do like this packaging, and I do like that we've got this line sort of under control and restarted on this again. So it appears to be by a toy maker company called Head Start, and that's the logo that we do have on there. So we're going to take in, that's the one that they've gone with, and have given us these fantastic figures. So we'll start looking at the character himself. Now, as I said, this is based off his appearance in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And you know, they've done a good job for a basic play feature. Like if this was to be a figure, if you're a kid going to play with this figure, absolutely you've got the right frame of mind with this. You've got the basic character. You can have him reenact any scenes in the game. You know, you can get him in some good poses. I mean, as I said, it's basic, but that's all you really need with some of this, because it is a toy at the end of the day. You know, kids want to play with this kind of thing, but you can get him into some good running poses like he has in the game, and very much out there. You know, there he is as he runs down to collect his Wumpa fruit. So yeah, it's a good little addition of stuff that we have there with this Crash Bandicoot figure, and the sculpting isn't the worst that I've seen. I mean, even when he's standing stationary, you know, that's a very Crash Bandicooty pose that is going on there. That is Crash Bandicoot in a nutshell. You know, I'm holding his figure. That is Crash. As long as I know that, that's what I've got. So yeah, he's a worthy figure to have in your sets. I think with the feet, maybe they could have done something better with them, because they literally look like clown shoes. I'm being pretty honest. The other Crash Bandicoot figure, primary Crash figure that I do have, is the NECA one that was released in about 2018. I actually gave you a look at that way back then, and that one had better sculpting. I think that's just because that was meant to be more in detailed style of Crash, and that one had like the fur details on it, whereas this one's more like a basic kind of figure. So you can see the sort of difference there, because as I said, this is more meant to be, this one's more meant for play features, whereas the other one, the NECA one, that's for display. You know, that's one that's made for fans to collect and display. And of course there were other variants of that, but again, that follows the whole thing of releasing different variants of Crash but ignoring the rest of the characters in the game. Now, it would be nice if we got even back in the NECA, it would be nice if we got Dr. Cortex or other versions of that. That would have really helped out and really given us some more variation to have for figures, really. But yeah, I mean, this is a good enough figure as is, and like even the facial sculpt, you know, it captures him brilliantly. When you see him in Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, like they've got his hair, they've got his sort of hair swished across there, his eyebrows. He's determined, so that really helps out. And the detail on his trousers, the hinges is obviously that bit of articulation. They could have probably done without in there. I'll give you a full rundown of it as well. You get the ball. You don't really have much articulation in the head, though I think it's meant to be a swivel, but I think they've sealed it down. Ball hinge shoulders, which is good enough. Unfortunately, they've only got hinged wrists, so it's kind of like the Disney Store Elite Series figures. So you can't have him move his elbows in front of him. So that's a shame. But we get swivel wrists, a swivel waist, hinged and hinged knees. There's no articulation in the ankles. So, but as I said, we got some bits that work. Swivel hips as well, as I mentioned. So as I said, you can get some running poses going with this guy. We're gonna have him run. So yeah, it's not by any chance one of the worst figures I've ever had in my collection, and he goes nicely with the Crash Bandicoot set. It's nice to have a set of figures from the game to display on your shelves, and this is just a good starting point. Now, of course, this isn't the only thing we get included with this, and the toy company that we have, Head Start, have also added an extra little addition. You probably saw that on the packaging already, but we do get an Aku Aku mask, and that is possibly the best part of this line, is the inclusion of masks for this, because that was something that we've just not had, and it makes sense to just pack these in with the characters as opposed to releasing them separately on their own. And they've really captured Aku Aku's likeness right there, because of course Aku Aku is Crash's regular mask. If you played the games, you remember you could break open an Aku Aku box. He comes out and he goes ooga booga, and he sort of follows Crash as he goes on. And of course, if you get hit by an enemy, you lose him, or depending on how many levels of him you got, because of course you could have a doubled version of him where it'd be the shiny gold version. So if Aku Aku would be hit by, you'd be hit, Aku Aku would revert to this form, and then you'd be hit again, then you'd lose him, and then of course you could get Aku Aku 3 times, then Crash would wear him, and you could run through the level and just kill anything that gets in your way, destroy the nitro crates, all of that. And yeah, that would last for about, I think it would last for about 30 seconds on the, well, at least on the Classic 3 games, he would last 30 seconds. Then came Wrath of Cortex, and when he only lasted 10 seconds, and then came Twinsanity, where his invincibility was fucking useless. I'm being brutally honest. It was fucking, honestly, you'd hit a night, you'd be full on, you'd have full on Aku Aku protection, you'd hit a nitro, nah, you die. He'd say, I will grant you special powers. Where are those? But I digress. Crash Twinsanity was a great game, I'll say that, but that was one thing that definitely was not good, and I'm just going to get that out there and just say that. But as I said, the inclusion of this, and he comes with a little stand as well, so he's not sort of on the floor, so you can sort of have him floating alongside Crash when he's on the shelf, or standing next to him as such. I've been working that out, because I only have two in these in the line so far. I've got Crash and I've got Coco, because I picked these up. I was in Glasgow, and I picked them up from Forbidden Planet there, because they have a Forbidden Planet International in Glasgow. So I just saw these guys on the shelf, and I thought, oh, I'll get Crash and I'll get Coco. So I do get the 2 of them so far. Unfortunately, the Forbidden Planet here in Newcastle only had like a 3 variant pack, which had Crash, Coco, and Cortex, but none of the masks were included in that. So yeah, I hope they get some of the newer ones in stock, or I'll have to just go and search the other towns, because I know that Middlesbrough have a Forbidden Planet International as well, just like Glasgow does, and as does Edinburgh. So I can always just check out those Forbidden Planets and just see what they have to provide regarding these. I can of course also get these online, but I will leave links to where you can get these online. I haven't, at the time of this review, I haven't actually checked Star Action Figures to see if they're selling these. So it'll probably, I'll have a link to some site that'll be selling them. It'll probably be Kapow Toys or something like that, if any of them have this, or Collector's Den, something like that. Any of them that'll have these that'll be selling these figures will be worth a purchase. But as I said, it's a good starting point. You know, Crash Bandicoot, get Aku Aku mask, and there's a few, as I said, there's a few other great figures in this wave to get. And as it's only wave 1, it's pretty promising that there will be another wave of these characters coming soon. So I'll hold out for that happening, because as I said, you know, this characters I want: Dingodile, Engine, Entropy, Embryo. You know, just characters we know and love, and Tiny as well. Like, I'd love to get that Crash Bandicoot collection that I've got, which is actually sort of down there in my collection, sort of in that direction over there, is something I really want to expand on. So I've been finding, you know, I've collected bits and bobs for it over the years. You know, I've got the NECA Crash, Totaku Crash, and because that I got Coco and Cortex with, and I also got Spyro for that as well. So just a little Crash and Spyro shrine I've got going on there, and these guys will make a fine addition to that once I'm able to obtain more of them. Yeah, but as I said, I'll leave links to where you can buy this Crash and Aku Aku pack down in the description below. Do drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell when you can know when I've uploaded more content.